Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Market down a little bit today. Let me go take a look at X and see if people can hear me over there. It wasn't working on my phone yesterday, but it worked. So let me see if it's working today. A little bit today. Yeah, it looks like it's working today. Good deal. Let me put a little GM in the so welcome. Yeah, welcome, whether you're coming from X, maybe Rumble. I don't really have any followers on Rumble, have a few on YouTube. So welcome everybody. Look, well, let's see, markets open in what, 5 minutes. Let's go over and take a look at the markets. Pretty much looks like we're going to open down around 1% on the Nasdaq. Let's see. Of course, you never know what happens when it actually opens, but yeah, we've got a few minutes. We'll take a quick run through, and then we'll look at some of the news that's affecting everything. But yeah, looks like the Nasdaq's going to open up down 0.93 as of right now. We've got a negative 0.63 on the Dow. Gold down 2.44%. Wow. Let's see what the S&P is looking like. And then we'll come back and see where they actually opened. Yeah, down 0.72. It's about where it's been more or less all night, to be honest with you. Hasn't changed too much. Of course, Bitcoin been down. Bitcoin's at 69, 396. So it's down 3.3%. Welcome everyone. 3.3%. Look, we're in one of those kind of don't know what's going on, right? There's negotiations happening. There's no major catalyst other than this war, and the negotiations go there. Hey there, DN Store. Yo, man. Is that Paige? Paige, GM. Welcome, my brother. Looks like Paige, if I'm seeing it right. So welcome, co-host of my Bitcoin morning show on X Space, coming up here at the top of the hour. Been doing that show for 4 years, but yeah, anyway, it's just one of those days. It's one of those sideways days where we're just in a holding pattern. We're just waiting. So when that happens, and it kind of tends to go one way or the other, we bleed out a little bit. So Bitcoin is down 3.3%. Can't lost that 73. It'll be interesting to see when the market opens, but like I say, I'm not surprised. Oh, hey Paige, good, that is you. Well, hey, good to see you, man. Give me a follow over there on YouTube. I just have a few people there, but always cool to see, man. Building up, reaching out to a few folks and telling them what's happening here, catching them up to date on everything that happened when they slept and what's affecting it. Ethereum 2,077 down a whopping 5%. XRP $1.37.5 down 3.5% for the week. Was that Ethereum 5% today? Yep, I read that right. And Solana, my favorite L1, 87.77, down 5.8. So we'll see what happens when the opening bell actually opens here in a minute. We'll start looking at some of the news. Oh, cool. Thanks for subscribing, Paige. Appreciate that. Look, I kind of said this was going to happen, or I kind of thought this was going to happen, okay? The UAE kind of rejected the idea of a ceasefire. They said with Iran demanding Tehran's full range of threats be addressed. Ambassador Yosef Al-Otaiba says UAE will join efforts to reopen the Straits of Hormuz. He also reaffirms the $1.4 trillion the UAE is going to invest in the U.S. So listen, nobody wants them to come back how they were or anything like that. They know they can't be trusted. And furthermore, they can't really be trusted with even ballistic missiles, more or less nuclear missiles. So I figured this would happen. In the past, these other countries, I don't know they supported them, but at least publicly facing, they were pretty neutral or whatever, and that's all changed. So short term, I think there's some benefits to Iran trying to just, put so much pressure on the world that it ended. But as it is, I think they've turned those people around. I think they'll be. I don't think anyone wants to see them back in any way, shape, or form what they were like before, and that's now evidenced by the UAE coming back and saying, "Hey, yeah, these guys, some issues there, and they're joining forces, and it can totally shut these guys down. It can totally shut these guys down. So I think we're going to see a more of a coalition long term moving forward. But and I think U.S. will be out of it in a week or two, but hard to say. I mean, keep in mind, look at that 1.4 trillion, and not to mention Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait. A lot of these companies investing, hundreds of billions, if not trillions, into the United States. So that's going to be a factor. That's, I think, a big factor on what way Trump's concerning there. So, hey, Quantum, GM, welcome. Also joining us via YouTube. Gold and silver, man, they lost critical support levels, falling below $4,570 an ounce. Let's take a quick peek back and see what was gold. Yeah, 44.41. So in technical analysis, there is these chance you could sort by 24 hours top up to see what's working in a down market. Talking crypto, probably could. We'll try that out maybe. If we just look at the bubbles in the 100, look at the bubbles, that tells us a little something, right? Pretty much everything's down, some down worse than others, but so that's why I like I like these crypto bubbles. It's a free app on your you have it available either on your iPhone or your Android or your lap or your desktop. It's free. I like to look. You saying Coin Market Cap? Yeah, we can look at that. We'll talk about that later. It's definitely we could bring some segments in like that. I like looking at this quickly. So it just gives you a quick visual, right? But anyway, so gold, in technical analysis, you have these levels. You hear me talking about the 200-day moving average or 200-week moving average down at 58,000 and how that is a big level you have to hold. And both gold and silver lost their support levels. And look, when everyone was going crazy, I and on the show, we were telling you, hey, maybe you ought to look at Bitcoin, because just because everyone got Bitcoin wrong doesn't change the facts, right? If you don't get it, you don't get it. Hey, Artie, GM also coming. Man, all my old ex-friends coming on YouTube. Cool. Glad to see. I use YouTube a lot late as well, right? So happy to see, happy to be cross-platform here. We're also over on Rumble, though. I like 2 people a day. I don't think I have 1 follower on Rumble, and like 2 people a day watch it, but I throw it over there anyway. It's almost no more work to do it. And of course we still get most of our users and watchers over here on X, and it's a little different platform. I think we get different users who watch the lives and maybe watch the spaces, and we are able to show these graphics and things like that. So I think it's cool. And I'm almost close enough to having enough followers. I'm going to be live streaming it on TikTok as well. Oh yeah, Quantum was saying way more stable stream on YouTube. That's interesting. They're probably just better tech, right? I mean, I know we have this live feature over there, so I'm going to throw it out there. But I agree. It's like, I mean, obviously, I'd rather watch stuff on YouTube. I watch most of my stuff on YouTube, not as much live. And I think they have that over there, but it's not really. I don't think they put a lot of time in it, to be honest with you. But yeah, hit the likes, Quantum. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate everyone. A lot of old friends over there joining me on YouTube, helping pump those numbers up. That's probably more, I got plenty of followers on X. I always like to get new ones, of course, but over on YouTube, yeah, it'd be good to get the algorithm. Like I say, just grinding every day. And I'm kind of excited to get this stream going on TikTok. TikTok's interesting. You can't record like a live stream like this. People have to join when it's going. There is no recording. And it's quite different. But they do a great job of pushing it out to people. And a lot of people just go live and talk throughout the day. But anyway, I definitely be kind of excited to be able to stream this there as well. Get some new people over there. But yeah, no, you're right, Quantum. I think you nailed it. The spices. The spaces are good, but the live feature is very unstable. I agree. They haven't done much to it. I mean, hell, they have enough trouble even keeping the spaces. We know they get glitchy. Been there for like yesterday, I literally couldn't see it on my phone, and I thought it wasn't even working. I thought the stream wasn't working till Artie went over there and checked it out for me and said he could hear me. So we went on with the show. Yeah, a lot of work to do. Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, but this one report says the Middle East crisis will fuel a surge in U.S. inflation to 4.2% this year, the highest in G7. I don't know if that's true. I honestly don't know if that's true, but what I'll tell you is this. Yeah, it's inflationary, and Trump's doesn't want to stay there very long. So he wants to get out. There's no question. He's got a midterm to win. Not him personally, but for a party and help with that. So I don't see us spending too much time over there. But I do kind of see the neighboring countries and maybe a coalition kind of pushing back if they don't get the right people there, because it's definitely a horrible neighbor, the worst neighbor in the neighborhood. Every other country thriving, and these guys back there in the Stone Age and now, yeah, attacking their whole way of life over there. So anyway, massive news here. I mean, that literally involves trillions and trillions of dollars. Fannie Mae will accept crypto-backed mortgages for the first time, allowing Americans to use Bitcoin and crypto as collateral to buy a home. Massive, right? You don't get bigger news than that. But we've been open 8 minutes. Let's see what the markets are actually doing. Start with the NASDAQ here. Yeah, no, Artie, you said it right too. Artie said YouTube lets me multitask without losing the feed. X makes me stay on the live screen feed or it goes silent. Yeah, you can't. You also can't do anything else, right? Like if you're watching that feed, like that was my problem with David Gokhshtein, right? Good friend out there. Huge guy, huge voice in the space. His live stream is massive. Tens of thousands of people listen to it. And I used to try. I actually watch David over on TikTok now, because then I can multitask it well. You're absolutely right. X, that's weird how they won't let you like keep it up in a window or do anything at all. But yeah, looks like we opened up about like no surprises. I feel like this is going to be one of those boring days, and probably tomorrow and then the weekend, right? I'll be happy if we can just kind of hold these levels, not bleed too much, because of course you never know. I thought last weekend was going to be boring as well. And then we got the talk of some of the peace stuff going on. So we'll see, but it is what it is. We've been here before. This is nothing new to us. I'm playing the volatility with GridBots, which I said I was going to do some content. Maybe I'll try and do that later today or tomorrow. Show you guys how to do GridBots. I think it's a great way. I honestly think it's a great way to make some money while you're sitting. I'm at about 2% almost for my GridBots this week on my whole portfolio. And I usually only have like 10, 20% of it actually working at any given time. Anyway, yeah, so it looks like it's opening about like it was projecting, right? I just feel like it's going to be a boring couple days. We're going to kind of bleed out, but you never know. You never know with Donald Trump at the helm. Anything can happen. Yeah, the Dow Jones down 0.47. Of course, it's early too, right? This could all change in the next hour and 20 minutes when we're on this show or over on the GM Bitcoin show. Yeah, the Dow 47. So it's actually a little better. Take another look at the NASDAQ. So the S&P, sorry. That was still the Dow. This is a crappy website, slow website, but gives me the info I need. But yeah, okay. Well, the NASDAQ, NASDAQ actually a little worse. Let's take a look at the S&P. Yeah, I think we're just right there. Most don't trust anything too much when it first opens anyway. But anyway, yeah, let's get the S&P if this freaking frozen molasses of a website wants to work there. Yeah, looks like the same, 0.76. Let's go see how Bitcoin's holding up. And I like to, I can pull up the hourly chart here. So hourly chart, this is just now. So it looks like we actually pumped a little bit, coming back down. So 69,318. So we'll see what happens. I just think we're just, this is what it is, right? Obviously, I mean, we don't like to be down 3.4%, 5.4% on Ethereum, 3.5 on XRP, 6% now on Solana. Yeah, but it's not, I just say it's not unexpected. Let's put it that way. People don't know what's going on. Investors hate uncertainty, and they're just sitting on the sidelines when that happens. Maybe they sell, maybe they just, they think we're going lower. Fannie Mae's in the running for the biggest news of the day. There's some other good news as well, though. Elon Musk, he might just be doing too many things. I don't know. I'll tell you, I have less faith in this X money than I did before, because I feel like the algorithm is so crappy on X right now, though. They're supposed to be using AI and having the biggest update of all time tomorrow or next week or something like that. I saw old Nikita Bear posting. So we'll see. Right now, I see a bunch of rage bait, a bunch of stuff I don't even want to see. A bunch of people I don't follow or even know who they are. But anyway, X is launching a new debit card called X Money, a sleek black metal card with your username on it that gives you 6% interest on your savings and 3% cash back. So mine could have at Crypto Bull Ron on it. Probably be a metal card. Cool. Of course, I'm pretty committed to my CoinZoom metal card, where I earn 5% back in crypto. And I think it's the best exchange out there. But anyway, cool to see him doing it. But like I say, it would help. He really needs to fix, and I know it's maybe just a hobby of his, but he needs to fix X. I'm kind of feeling like they're Microsoft, throw all this crap that doesn't work out there for, a couple years later, it finally works. Whereas Apple, everything works and continues to work, right? They do their own hardware, their own software, everything. It's a big difference. President said the Iranians are begging the U.S. for an agreement. Who knows? That might be true, right? But you don't know what to believe. He said, she said, everyone pitching their own narrative, their own propaganda. We just kind of got to sit back and wait till what do the numbers say. Right now, the numbers are saying people think, it's not over. So Australia's central bank announced it will integrate Bitcoin and crypto directly within its banking system, the 15th largest economy, to launch regulatory sandbox for digital assets. So they're actually integrating it into their central bank. Big news as well. Man, I got up at 2 a.m. my time to do a trade. We had a little bit of a dip. I wanted to buy some more Solana over there on my grid bots. And for some reason, not on my phone, but it's a lot harder to do stuff on my phone. But my laptop, the VPN was blocking everything. There's a function in there that when it glitches, it shuts down, blocks the internet. Anyway, I had to troubleshoot it. Anyway, it cost me 2 hours of sleep. I didn't get back to sleep till 4 for a half an hour, but it was kind of crazy. 2 hours in the middle of the night. I couldn't get any internet. And anyway, I knew it wasn't my new internet. Anyway, it was interesting. Stuff happens. It's worse when you lose sleep over it, but it is what it is. I'm back now. Coinbase rejects another Senate stablecoin. Coinbase pushed back on the latest Clarity Act draft, which we've been talking about, warning their proposed rules could limit how stablecoin yields are structured across the industry. The current language bans passive yields while allowing activity-based rewards under broader economic equivalent. Without Coinbase backing, the bill face an uncertain path, could stall indefinitely if not passed in May. So anyway, that's our big catalyst we're waiting for, and who knows when it'll happen, right? But it is what it is. Jack Dorsey, man, big advocate for Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin as a currency and mass adoption as Bitcoin. He's going out to DC tomorrow to advance the proposal to eliminate capital gains on Bitcoin payments. Bitcoin become everyday money in the USA. That he believes in Satoshi's vision that it's a peer-to-peer currency, right? And so obviously, if Bitcoin were overall treated like a currency and not an asset, that would be much better. So anyway, that'll help a lot. And he's doing everything with his Square, his company, The Block, Cash App. He's doing a lot. So he's one of the good guys out there, advocate. Different guy, though. You don't see him much. He kind of lays low the rest of the time. Stand with Crypto, which is a crypto advocacy group. They're gonna endorse candidates ahead of the November midterms election. So if you want to vote for crypto, they'll tell you who they think is crypto friendly, which it is, I would say, the most bipartisan. I would say it's the most bipartisan thing we have right now. Maybe the only thing anyone can agree on for the most part. You know, you have your Elizabeth Warrens and your Bernie Sanders and these people who are supposed to be for the people are really for the big banks and the big donors, but they're against it. But generally, it's a pretty freaking bipartisan. Like I say, when we can't agree on anything, get anything done is the only thing that some people do. There is some bipartisan aspect of it. I saw this. There was I don't know where the video is or who is on. He looked like he was on with a couple of young girls, but SEC Paul Atkins said the agency's tokenization innovation exemption may arrive in the next few weeks. So they're going to have some clarity on tokenization and some incentives so that people can do some stuff with that. We know Larry Fink is huge on it. President Trump threatens Iran to get serious soon before it's too late. Once that happens, there's no turning back and it won't be pretty. So he's continuing to be the tough negotiator that he is. And we'll see. I mean, we all want to see this get resolved. The White House clears review of a proposed 401k rule by the Department of Labor that could allow crypto investment. Once again, trillions and trillions of dollars, right? Between Fannie Mae and this, what we see is the government very friendly towards crypto, and they're doing all these things to help it. I mean, 401ks, I don't know, isn't that like 14-15 trillion dollars? And for those of you that aren't in the United States, what it is you can donate X amount of money per year. I don't know if it's 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, whatever it is, and that's tax deferred until you retire. So you can put in, say, and you don't say my wife and I do 10,000 or 8,000, whatever the maximum is between us, then that grows tax, tax deferred until we retire. So if you could put, everyone has one, and it's, I believe it's $14 trillion, but I could be wrong, but it's trillions and trillions. Another runner-up for the biggest news of the day. Huge. Absolutely freaking huge. We talked about this yesterday, and we've been talking about it. Coinbase exec saying Bitcoin outperforming every other asset as geopolitical tensions rise. Bitcoin is up 25% over gold, 10% over S&P. The massive rotation is just beginning. It's what we've been saying, right? Go where the puck is going. Skate where the puck is going, not where it's been or where it is. I think Wayne Gretzky said that, but I'm not sure. Man, this man has balls of steel. We got Ethereum down 5%. Tom Lee's Bitmine adds 108 million in ETH. He just bought 50,000 more ETH yesterday. I mean, it's crazy. Now, when I see Saylor do it, I have no qualms, and I think he's going to make a ton of money. I don't think ETH's going anywhere, but man, I mean, ETH is vulnerable. I mean, they've already proven it with Solana and some of the other chains what they're doing, but like, it's a technology whereas Bitcoin really has no rivals, probably never will have, right? But Ethereum will. So, but I think he's gonna do really well and make billions. I want him to, but scares me when I see him just throwing down another 100 million here, 100 million there. I mean, they own like 5% of the Bitcoin, or they're going to, or excuse me, Ethereum. But man, shout out to Tom Lee. Anthony Scaramucci. I love this, man. Should put this on a poster. Scaramucci compares Bitcoin at 100K to buying Manhattan in 1690. This is digital property. You either see it or you don't. Man, I mean, I don't even need to comment on that. It's just so freaking profound. And that's it, you know? That's how you're going to, yeah, Quantum. Tom Lee, arguably the worst trader of this cycle. Surely ETH has done nothing price action wise. Let's do. Yeah, listen, I think he's going to be fine that where he's coming in at it, but holy crap, man, he just keeps doubling down. And I feel like he doesn't really understand Ethereum. I think he thinks everything's going to Ethereum. Like, you know, I don't know. It's apples and oranges when you compare it to, I'm just telling you, me personally, I think he'll do well. I think he'll make money, but I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do that, man. If I had $1 million, I was going to, I might put it all in Bitcoin. I might put some of it in ETH, but I certainly wouldn't put it all in ETH. I mean, I don't know. Like I say, ETH's not going away. I think he'll do well, but man, I think he thinks it's Bitcoin or something. I don't know. But man, it's, you know, either way, he's doing it. Bitcoin miner Mira reports sell of 15,000 Bitcoin. Look, when the price of Bitcoin's below the price to mine a Bitcoin, you're going to have people, they still got to pay their bills. They got to pay their electricity, all this stuff. And a lot of these guys are shifting over. It's more profitable to do a data center. So not surprising. It is what it is. Very cyclic business, man. This damn Bitcoin mining. It's feast or famine. It's feast or famine. It really is. Fear and greed back to 10. I think we were 15 yesterday, back to 10. And that just really nails the mood of where we're at, right? No, Quantum, you're right. Whose money is he spending on this is not his money. And some would argue that he's getting paid on those fees anyway. And obviously he can't, he's just doubling down and he's all in at this point. So he's keeping on the, he's pulling, whether it's a bluff or whatever, he's just selling it, right? I just think he's a little aggressive, but I do think he'll make money. I really do. And so as investors, but I feel like they're where we were 5 years ago, right? He feels today about Ethereum like I did, and most of us did 5 years ago. But yeah, he's still selling it. It's other people's money. He's still going to take his fee. Now, they are making about $1 million a day in staking, right? So yeah, that's going to help, right? He's got that returns. They can show some profit or pay off some investors or whatever. But yeah, he's some people would say he's just selling it, but yeah, he's Gucci either way. Absolutely, Quantum, 100%. But look, this fear and greed just shows you what I've been saying, where we're at, right? We're just in a holding pattern. Of course, we're going to be in extreme fear. But you guess what? That's good. More time to buy. I'm making a little money on my grid bots. I'm going to be buying more Bitcoin and Solana and other things. So I'm, playing, and I'm about to sell some bunch of inventory and stuff I got laying around my house too. I'm going to be putting it back in Bitcoin. This is interesting. I reported on this yesterday. Monument Bank, they're going to actually, the first U.S. regulated Monument Bank, they're going to tokenize their customers' deposits. And this is something I didn't catch. They're doing it on Cardano's Midnight network. Let's go look quickly at Midnight, right? It's been doing pretty well. So this is a privacy network number 69. Yeah, oh, there we go. There we go right here. Okay, so 758 million. It's down 20% over the month, but yeah, it's Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, which Cardano, I think it's decent tech. I don't know. Programmers I talk to say it's really hard to work with, right? It's kind of I don't know, the way they did it, it kind of turned into a kind of like a I don't know, an intellectual experiment, kind of they publish papers and they get peer reviewed and all this, trying to solve a problem. And it may be good. It just doesn't have crap for adoption, like literally a few thousand users. So maybe this is way to do it, because what he said about this, and this, I don't know, maybe I'm going to take a look at night because of this. He said, gosh dang, I didn't know I was that far down the road here. Okay. So they're going to put it online, their deposits for their people, and they're using Cardano's Midnight Network as an interest-bearing digital assets. Charles Hoskinson says the partnership could bring hundreds of millions. You need to write a white paper before deploying a protocol on it. Yeah, it's interesting in this fast-moving world, right? But anyway, yeah, this may be good. Maybe maybe it's a smart move for him to shoot over and have a privacy token. And there is a need for some privacy out there, right? Sometimes too much out there is not good, So anyway, interesting. But something to think about. I will take a deeper look into midnight because of this. And last but not least, our guy Mark Yusko, he said he was on a podcast just, I think, the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, here he is. He's a TradFi guy who also, he was partners with Jason A.I. Williams and stuff. And Pomp early on, they had a fund, one of the first funds that they got different people to buy into it. But anyway, he said, banks have had a good 848-year run. Time to move on. Better, faster, cheaper equals an edge. So, yeah, man. Hey, join me over at the Bitcoin Good Morning GM Bitcoin Morning Show. Cover a lot of the same stuff, but I have co-hosts and there'll be more people talking about it. And we may hit talk about other things as well. But appreciate everyone joining me. We'll be back tomorrow to end the week on Opening Bell Crypto. But have a good Thursday, everyone, and we'll be back tomorrow. If I can get this, my software that runs all this glitching a little. Here we go. Oh, trying to end it. There we go. Try and end this thing. Appreciate everyone joining me, though. Have a great week. See you over on the GM Bitcoin show if you can. And otherwise, we'll see you here tomorrow. If this, this software sometimes I use